Thank you for tuning back onto Coins Alert. Without further ado, let's discuss the current situation with XRP as of Friday morning, October 17th. Now, I've been updating you all in rapid succession for the past 2 hours, and I realize that it's really late here in North America. Furthermore, if you value that, I kindly request that you all spare 2 seconds of your time to hit the like button. Also, hit the bell symbol to get a notification whenever I post a new video. However, we should examine the XRP pricing. The market as a whole is experiencing a significant correction at the moment, and it has fallen by around 6.8%. On the Bitcoin front, XRP's price has dropped 2.3% to $2.23 as of the time of this update's recording. With an estimated 8 billion shares changing hands in a single day, the valuation is $133 billion. A brief disclaimer: the content of this channel does not constitute financial advice. When investing in cryptocurrency, you should always conduct your own research and due diligence. Just 1 week after reaching 64 greed, the Crypto Fury and Greed Index has fallen back to 22 extreme fear. The price of Bitcoin has dropped below several of the important levels we've been talking about, which we will certainly revisit, so I expect this to be even lower when it updates again in a few hours. But keep in mind that the head of the SEC has said that the United States is playing catch-up in the cryptocurrency market. First and foremost, according to SEC Chair Paul Atkins, the United States is likely 10 years behind the curve when it comes to cryptocurrency. Super applications that integrate investing, payments, and more are receiving backing from the SEC, which is bringing innovation back to the US by granting regulatory exemptions for testing. According to Atkins, the US is aiming to become the next Bitcoin and crypto innovation hotspot thanks to its regulatory push. The Securities and Innovation Commission is now in charge of this. And sure, there is a generalized slowdown that we are witnessing. A slight retreat is hardly something I would call it. We need to step back and examine the bigger picture of the cryptocurrency market, because this is a huge setback. In spite of your knowledge that setbacks of this kind are inevitable, you must ask yourself, are you planning to stay here for a while? Is the following month your commitment? For the next 2 months, will you be here? Shall we move on to the next one? From now till, say, 20 years from now. Invest just what you can afford to lose if that's the case, because it's a long-term commitment. I can assure you that these kinds of moves will occur far more frequently than once, so patience is crucial if you're in it for the long run. This is how the game is played. It will keep happening like this. Consider the price of an additional unit of Bitcoin, for example. Consider where the price of an additional piece is at the moment. These kinds of corrections were occurring 2 years ago. Take a look at the current positions of some of these coins. It says a lot. In the previous 24 hours, the value of crypto has been liquidated to the tune of about $1 billion. Big liquidations again. Unfortunately, the market had a negative reaction to some major news that we heard. Once again, though, these are the areas where we should be focusing our efforts. According to Brad Gillinghouse, with today's $1 billion acquisition of G Treasury, Ripple is entering the $120 trillion corporate treasury payment industry. Payments are the principal use case for cryptocurrency and blockchain, as this industry has learned the hard way in recent years. For these reasons and more, payments were Ripple's initial focus. Complex, asyled, and inefficient infrastructure is the norm. Although we are aware that they are in an ideal position to gain from decentralized financial technologies. Outdated payment systems are stifling innovation, causing needless expenses, and preventing access to new markets for staggering sums of money. G Treasury has been assisting CFOs with managing their assets, including stablecoins, tokenized deposits, etc., and scaling globally and putting their trust in Ripple. G Treasury has been servicing some of the most famous brands for decades. I am able to finance my involvement with repo markets through the hidden path. Here is your chance. Shall we go headfirst into it? It is taking place. I apologize, but we are jumping straight into this, and it is occurring. People fail to notice their significant actions. What many fail to notice is that the cost of additional P is currently $2, which is far higher than $2. The genuine additional P holders don't forget that, and that's a fact, even though most people forget it. Also, most of the retail investors in cryptocurrency are already active players in the market. The influx of fresh capital is minimal. While on X, I came upon an analysis that someone had made. They mentioned that altcoins don't have significant bidding activity. What we said is reiterated. If you've been watching the channel regularly, you might remember that there was a big liquidation before this. Lots of these altcoins just don't seem to be getting any bids, you know. The vast majority of altcoins are still sitting on the market with nobody buying or paying any attention. This is a clear indication of the lack of enthusiasm. The anticipation may begin when we observe this flush and continue to build when the market recovers. Despite this adjustment, I am still of the belief that Q4 will conclude on a good note. Reason being, I've spent a considerable amount of time in this area, as previously said. We've had a string of days in the red, so I'm expecting some excitement to pop up soon. But of course, we still need to keep our attention on Bitcoin, the most essential factor. Time will tell what occurs, but I can tell you this from my own experience. This is not financial advice, that it will. Looking at past historical trends is something I do when I'm forming my own opinions, but after Bitcoin has stabilized a bit, we should expect to see a bounce. Keep in mind that BlackRock recently told CNBC that their crypto digital asset ETF is expecting massive growth in the future. Almost goes unmentioned, but check out this thing that Nate Garcia put up. The recent market volatility has not deterred cryptocurrency giants like Ripple Labs from pursuing their commercial objectives for the funds. The company is spearheading a drive to collect $1 billion to accumulate XRP, its digital coin. Individuals informed of the situation say that they will be stored in a new digital asset treasury, or DAT. The fact that they are building their own treasury is fascinating once again. Some of the individuals who were not permitted to talk publicly stated that the funds will be raised through a special purpose acquisition company, SPAC. Additionally, Ripple will be contributing a portion of its own XRP. Important stuff, but the market isn't responding at the moment. That Bitcoin supremacy has taken a nosedive, as you probably already know. It is evident that a significant split has occurred. That shouldn't come as a surprise, considering that Bitcoin recently broke below $100. Specifically, it broke below the $23 mark, dropped to $107, experienced a fake out, bounced back down, and is now located around $105,000. As I mentioned on the channel, 150,000 is a helpline. But if we don't linger, we can retest and fill this week if we so want. And it appears that could be the case. Well, there it is, in print. While it's true that the price of XRP fell below 38.2, it's important to keep in mind that we surged to 264 incredibly quickly. The price has fallen by almost 16% since then, though. In this way, it is possible to essentially eliminate the improvements that were observed. So for the time being, we should focus on closely monitoring XRP's progress. XRP's price has the potential to drop below $2.10, or possibly $2 if certain conditions are met. To put this in perspective, it's important to remember that we're talking about an 11.3% swing. However, if Bitcoin's dominance increases, and it seems like it is, the price might retest and break above the 100,000 mark that we've been building up since June. I think it would be best if it happens sooner rather than later. But if it does, these are some of the important levels to remember. But anyway, looking at the Bitcoin price thus far, it seems like, remember how we've been talking about Bitcoin not being on the safe side, and how this wave could still be building? It seems like it's doing just that. I'll keep you guys updated as usual, so please, as always, tell me what you think in the comments, subscribe, and turn on bell icon. I love you all, and I'll see you later when crypto takes center stage. Peace out.